What if I told you that the man who once ruled the fight game, earned hundreds of millions, and had fans chanting his name across the world, has been beaten 6 times? Yeah, even Conor McGregor, the king of trash talk and knockouts, has tasted defeat. But every time he fell, something new was revealed about his mindset, his limits, and his legacy. So today, we're breaking down the 6 times Conor McGregor lost in MMA and what each of those losses really meant. We're going to look at his early heartbreaks, the losses that nearly ended his career before it even began, and the ones that came when he was on top of the world. From humble beginnings in Ireland to the chaos of the UFC. This is the full story behind Conor McGregor's 6 defeats, and why each one changed him forever. Let's rewind to the very beginning, when McGregor was just a teenager with big dreams and even bigger gloves. Number 6. Artemi Sitankov, 2008. It was 2008, and Conor McGregor was only 19 years old. He had just started his MMA journey after years of boxing. He'd won his first 2 fights with quick knockouts, full of swagger and belief. People in Dublin were already whispering about the kid with the dangerous left hand. Then came fight number 3, against Artemi Sitankov, a Lithuanian grappler no one really knew much about. McGregor walked in confident, maybe even a little too confident. Seconds into the fight, Sitankov shot for a takedown. McGregor stopped it. But instead of resetting, Sitankov pulled guard and grabbed hold of McGregor's leg. Before Conor could even process what was happening, he was trapped in a tight knee bar. He tried to twist out, but it was too late. He had to tap. Just like that, the rising star was humbled in less than a minute. After the fight, Sitankov said McGregor was emotional. Not because he was weak, but because he cared. He said, he was just 19 years old. It was his first defeat. Of course he was emotional. That loss might have crushed most young fighters. But not Conor. Instead, it woke him up. He realized his striking wasn't enough. His grappling, his ground game, was the hole in his armor. So he went back to the gym, day after day, broke and frustrated, but determined to fix it. That defeat was the spark that built the champion we'd later see. Number 5, Joseph Duffy, 2010. 2 years later, McGregor had rebuilt himself. He'd been grinding in silence, improving his grappling and wrestling, and earning small paychecks just to survive. By 2010, he was ready for the big leagues. A chance to prove himself on one of Europe's top stages. Cage Warriors. But his debut didn't go as planned. Facing Joseph Duffy, another Irish fighter, McGregor came in confident. But within 38 seconds, it was over. Duffy landed clean shots, took him down, and locked in an arm triangle choke. McGregor had no choice but to tap again. Another loss, another submission. It stung. Badly. But instead of quitting, McGregor learned again. He spent the next few years perfecting his ground defense and sharpening his striking. And when he came back, he was a different beast. He went on a winning streak so dominant that Cage Warriors couldn't ignore him. He won the featherweight and lightweight titles, becoming a double champion even before entering the UFC. That's when Dana White took notice. He flew all the way to Ireland just to meet McGregor. After one dinner, Dana said, "If this guy can throw a punch, he'll be a superstar." He wasn't wrong. Number 4, Nate Diaz, 2016. By 2016, Conor McGregor was the biggest name in MMA. He had crushed Jose Aldo in just 13 seconds, one of the fastest knockouts in title history, and he was aiming to take over another division. He was on top of the world, confident, rich, and untouchable. Then, fate stepped in. Conor was set to fight Rafael dos Anjos for the lightweight belt, but Dos Anjos broke his foot. Enter Nate Diaz, tough as nails, slick on the ground and not afraid of anyone. The trash talk before the fight was pure chaos. McGregor mocked Nate's money, his record, his lifestyle. Nate's last fight, 20 grand to show, 20 to win, Conor laughed. Now he's getting $1 million because of me. But Nate didn't back down. You're the one talking, he said. I'm the one fighting. When the fight started, McGregor came out hot. He dropped Nate twice in the first round. It looked like another McGregor highlight reel in the making. But then, the tide turned. McGregor's punches lost power. His movement slowed. He looked tired. In round 2, Diaz landed clean shots that rocked McGregor. Conor panicked, shot for a takedown, something he rarely did, and Nate immediately took advantage. Seconds later, McGregor was trapped in a rear naked choke. He tapped. For the first time in the UFC, Conor McGregor had lost, and the internet went wild. After the fight, Nate simply said, "I'm not surprised." And McGregor, humbled but proud, told the crowd, "I'll take it on the chin and come back stronger." He kept that promise. 5 months later, the rematch at UFC 202 went the distance. After 5 brutal rounds, McGregor got his revenge, winning by decision and silencing the critics. That loss taught him something valuable, that even when you're the biggest star, you can still bleed. Number 3, Khabib Nurmagomedov, 2018. After Diaz, McGregor climbed even higher. He became the first fighter in UFC history to hold 2 belts at the same time. Then, instead of defending them, he took a detour. A $100 million detour into boxing against Floyd Mayweather. The payday was massive. The fame exploded. But when McGregor finally returned to the UFC, things weren't the same. His focus had shifted, and standing across from him was an undefeated monster, Khabib Nurmagomedov. What started as a rivalry turned into all-out war. Conor insulted Khabib's religion, his father, even his country, and then came the infamous bus attack. When McGregor flew from Ireland to New York, stormed the Barclays Center, and threw a metal dolly at a bus carrying Khabib. The windows shattered. Fighters were injured. Dana White called it disgusting. But eventually, the fight happened. UFC 229. And when the cage door closed, it was clear. Khabib wasn't there to talk. He dominated McGregor from start to finish. In round 2, he dropped him with an overhand right. In round 4, he locked in a submission. McGregor tapped. Then Khabib jumped over the cage and attacked McGregor's team, starting a wild brawl that shocked the world. That loss wasn't just about fighting, it was about pride, respect, and the limits of ego. For the first time, McGregor wasn't just beaten, he was humbled. Number 2, Dustin Poirier, 2021. After the chaos, McGregor disappeared for a while. When he came back, he seemed different, calmer, kinder, more mature. At UFC 246, he made a perfect comeback, finishing Donald "Cowboy" Cerrone in just 40 seconds. Fans thought, he's back. Then came Dustin Poirier, the rematch years in the making. This time, there was no trash talk, just respect. McGregor called Poirier a hell of a fighter and said he looked forward to sharing the cage again. But this wasn't the same Poirier McGregor beat years ago. Poirier had grown, stronger, smarter, and technically sharper. He attacked McGregor's front leg with brutal calf kicks. Each one slowed Conor down more and more. By round 2, McGregor could barely move. Poirier landed clean punches, and McGregor dropped to the mat. For the first time in his UFC career, McGregor was knocked out cold. Still, he handled it well, smiling, shaking Poirier's hand, and promising they'd run it back. Fans loved it. The respectful Conor seemed like a new chapter, but that new chapter didn't last long. Number 1. Poirier Trilogy, 2021. When their trilogy fight came around a few months later, everything changed again. McGregor was back to his old ways. Full of venom and fury, he mocked Poirier's wife, his charity, his town. The trash talk was dark. "You're going out on a stretcher," he shouted. "You're a dead man walking." When the fight started, McGregor looked sharp, at least for a few minutes. He threw fast kicks, solid punches, but then disaster struck. At the end of the first round, McGregor stepped back, and his leg snapped. A clean break. He fell to the mat in agony, screaming as the referee stopped the fight. It was over, just like that. His body broke before his will did. As doctors worked on him, McGregor shouted from the canvas, still trash-talking. But deep down, everyone knew this was different. This was the fight that might have ended the Conor McGregor we once knew. What these losses really mean. 6 losses, each one tells a story. The first 2, to Sitnikov and Duffy, showed us a kid learning, adapting, and growing. The next 2, to Diaz and Khabib, showed a superstar meeting his limits and paying the price for fame and ego. And the last 2, to Poirier, showed a veteran facing the hardest truth of all, that time catches everyone. But through it all, McGregor always came back. He might lose a fight, but he never loses his drive. He turned every setback into fuel, every loss into a lesson. That's what made him the Notorious. So what happens next? McGregor was supposed to fight Michael Chandler, but that fight's still hanging in the air. Some say he's done. Others believe he's just one win away from redemption. But no matter what happens, one thing's for sure, McGregor's story isn't just about victory. It's about survival. It's about how even the biggest stars can fall and still rise again. Because win or lose, Conor McGregor changed MMA forever. He brought in new fans, massive paydays, and a level of showmanship no one had seen before. He made fighting bigger than just punches and kicks. He made it entertainment, emotion, and theater. So maybe his best days are behind him. Or maybe the greatest comeback in MMA history is still waiting to happen. So, what do you think? Which McGregor loss shocked you the most? Diaz, Khabib, or Poirier? Drop your thoughts below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next deep dive into MMA's wildest stories. Thanks for watching. This is AU Beyond MMA, and I'll see you in the next one.